What's going on, Mooncutter fans? Joffrey Curry here tonight. Proud to announce to start with that me, along with my usual co-host Adam, have decided to launch a network. We've already got a bunch of stuff in the works. We've already got a few other shows joining us, but this will be the first time I can officially say Mooncutter Sportscast, a proud partner of Running Force Productions. Now, today we are continuing our series covering the off-season moves and depth chart updates, as well as realistic expectations for the next season of the NFL. And tonight, we are reaching across the state to our brothers to the east, the Philadelphia Eagles. Joining us today, we got Eric and Chris from the Philly podcast, presented by Six Pack Coverage. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the table.
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Not much. Now, before we get into discussing the team, a little bit of background about you guys, what you guys do over there, and how you guys got your link to being Eagles fans.
Well, I mean, you're born into it in Philadelphia, more or less.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, everyone sits there and jokes about it, but I became a fan in the early 80s. I'm 44 years old. I'd think about that for a second. So, I had the luxury of not remembering Super Bowl 80. I do remember the Fog Bowl, and then of course, the passing of Jerome Brown, and we were just cursed. Like we were cursed. Like it was, and then we had the Buddy Ryan years where he more or less focused on defense and beating the Cowboys, which was good, except the fact that the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. So, but other than that, like it was literally in our DNA, and we live and we died by them.
All right, what about you, Eric?
Well, pretty much, man. It's just like I said, it's in the DNA, born and raised into it. Just like cheesesteaks and soft pretzels. So, I grew up a big Philly sports fan, a 4-for-4 guy. Along the way, I deviated from baseball, but yeah, man, just a very big sports family, and a lot of things family related happened around sports, and yeah, man, it's just can't say anything else other than it's just something that you're born into. That's it. You're born into it, and you take it to heart, take it serious. I mean, as everybody knows, Philly fans can take it serious. And
you're not wrong there. I mean, your old football stadium was the only one in the league that I'm aware of that had a jail built into it.
Yes, but now a lot of them do. We were.
You started the trend.
We did. We
were the originators. You know what? It was ugly, but I'm proud.
Right. And people want to sit there and continually talk about throwing snowballs to Santa Claus. The moon landing didn't even happen yet. So I'm I'm tired of hearing about the snowball. He booed first, so he started it.
That gray hair.
And
I don't even know what to say to that one.
And that's what I'm going to stick to.
He said, "That is a hill I am willing to die on." Got it.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'll defend this. Listen, as much as I'll rip this fan base, and me and Eric, we go on tangents where we rip this fan base because of some of the idiotic things they say as fans. But you can't. I can.
Mm-hmm.
And because it just goes, everything reverts back to what happened in the 60s. We're not you got to remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Raiders and the 49ers couldn't play preseason games because of blood in the Crips. What? That's just we're not the only bad fan base.
I mean,
we own up to it. We're like, yeah, we're pieces of shit. We know it.
I mean, as a born and raised Pittsburgher who is a diehard Jets fan, I can say on both fronts, both fan bases are fucking terrible. You got the delusional ass Steeler fans who think no matter how bad their team is, no matter how bad the roster is, oh, it doesn't matter. We're winning the Super Bowl.
That sounds like Flyers fans.
And then you've got the Jets, my boys, who no matter how great of a draft we do, no matter how much progress we put together between one season to the next with increasing our roster, oh, fuck them. They're gonna fucking blow. We ain't doing shit. We need to fire the coach, fire the GM, fire them all. What the fuck, guys? Come on. Give them a chance.
Yeah. It's not too far off from our fan base. It's like, oh man, this guy was great when we signed him. 2 games in, fuck him, get him out.
Meanwhile, our team, the Eagles had a quarterback who was Christian worthy, and you have a quarterback who is MILF worthy. Like completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Like just on the other end on the other end of the spectrum. Like holier than now, he's like, nah. He's like, you're gonna sleep on my best friend. I'm gonna sleep on my best friend's wife. I don't care. That dude's a god. Like I don't like you. There's nothing anybody can say bad about Zach Wilson. I don't care if he threw 63 interceptions this year.
Now
he went straight to his ex best friend's mom and was like, "Let's go."
No,
let's go.
No, not
his mom's best friend. His mom's best friend.
I thought it was his best friend's mom.
No. His girlfriend dumped him because apparently she found out that he was banging his mom's best friend. And I will say this much. Beautiful. I will share the link with you guys later, but looking at half of the chicks in this picture of all of his mom's friends, for 90% of them, if it's one of the 90%, I don't fucking blame him.
His mom's smoking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember that at the draft. I was like, holy shit.
I'm like, draft Zach Wilson. I know we don't need a quarterback, but draft Zach Wilson. Let's go with the quarterback controversy for 4 years if I get to look at Zach Wilson's mom.
I mean, I'd argue to say she's almost as much of a sideline attraction now as it was when one of the head cheerleaders on the flight crew was a former porn star.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Right? Only in New York, baby. Only in New York.
Or you mean New Jersey? Let's be realistic. They play in New Jersey.
Potato.
You, Christopher, you.
You damn ginger. So,
wait, I guess you're the ginger, Eric, because I'm pretty freaking bald right now.
Me.
Oh no, Chris is the ginger.
I'm talking about me. I'm the ginger.
He was talking as me to him.
Got it.
I accept my gingerness. All right, so we're not here to talk about Zach Wilson and his mom and his mom's best friend. Although I'm sure we could do 45 minutes of talking about it.
Oh, especially if we keep on the freaking joke mentality that we're on right now, I guarantee we could. But tonight we are here. We've already had 2 discussions on the Jets. So tonight we're here to focus on the Eagles. And I will say you might not have made a lot of moves being limited to 5 draft picks and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 free agent pickups that I'm seeing here, including 3, 4 that were re-signings. But there's a couple names on here that I'm impressed that you guys pulled. Starting with the fact that you guys retained for $1.75 million running back Boston Scott.
Yeah, he plays a big part for the offense, and I was happy that they re-signed him. Part of me was like, okay, maybe he's a guy that they can let go, because like Chris will tell you, like I look back, I think of him as like another Greg Ward, one of these practice squad guys, and I was like, dude, I'm tired of the practice squad guys. But Boston Scott, I don't mind. Like he actually produced. He was effective. I mean, and he's like a little tank. You know, he gets moving and he just goes. Kind of remind me a little bit of.
Don't you dare say it.
Say what?
If you say Darren Sproles, I'll rip your throat out tomorrow at work.
Okay, Darren Sproles. Game on.
But is that the name you were actually thinking of?
It was yeah, it was.
That's who they compare him to in Philadelphia. I'm not saying Eric does, but I'm saying that's who he gets compared to in Philadelphia.
But it's a legit comparison. I mean, just because Darren Sproles, it's a legit comparison. Small guy, big legs like tree trunks that's powerful and creates room and runs and it's comparable. I mean, I'm not saying he is Darren Sproles, but I'm saying it's a comparison. So
now with the price tag attached only being 1.75 mil, I would take it to mean that they're probably looking at him as what, third on the depth chart, maybe a third down back.
No, he could be a third down back, but he will be the running back that'll play every snap against the New York Giants because he plays like Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton all in one. I don't know why. His career stats against the Giants are ridiculous. It makes zero sense. You can go and look. It makes no sense how good he plays against them. I don't know why.
He's like the giant killer. He really is. He really is. What's he got? In 2 or 3 games, he's got like 7 or 8 total touchdowns against them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so against the Giants, he's going to be your 1A hands down. Rest of the season,
he's got 7 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown in 6 games played.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be that little change of pace guy. You know, I mean, every team has him. But he'll come in. He'll be a little change of pace guy. I mean, he can catch the ball. You know, so I mean, he's just throw in, give somebody a breather. But then again, we got to see how Miles Sanders is this year. I mean, he hasn't been great. You know, I mean, to me, he's been somewhat of a disappointment ever since his rookie season. Like, he started trending down. He doesn't stay healthy all that much. Where Boston Scott's out there all the time. Like, the injury bug hasn't seemed to hit him. Knock on wood. So, you know, it's he'll have his moments. Like, he'll be that nice little spark plug, get them in there and do his thing.
So what I think what we'll see a lot of, you'll see a lot of 2-back set, and it won't be Kenneth Gainwell because Kenneth Gainwell will be in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody knows who Kenneth Gainwell is outside of Philadelphia. He's a really good slot. He's a really good slot. You know, he's great in the slot. He was great in college at Memphis, and he always seems to get open. He had a really good. He didn't have a great rookie season, but he had a good rookie season for what we had at quarterback and where we were after 7 weeks.
I will say Kenny Gainwell, yes, I can agree with you 100%. For those of you fantasy managers out there, I had drafted Alvin Kamara and Antonio Gibson in my one league last year, and unfortunately, with both of them getting hurt for a 4-week stretch, Kenny Gainwell was the person that came in clutch as a free agent wire pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I have him on one fantasy team, and I'm just waiting for him to actually, you know, mature and everything like that, get involved more, and hopefully this is the year that we see him start getting involved more. I mean, he's got a lot of upside, and I'm excited for him. Like, I liked when they drafted him. I was happy with it, so I literally am. I'm excited. So Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott. I mean, both small guys, little guys that are shifty and can get in and out of traffic. I love it. So I'm excited for them.
Realistically, Kenneth Gainwell should touch the ball 12 times a game, whether it's in the backfield or
receiving
as a receiver. I'll take Kenneth Gainwell all day over Greg Ward. Greg Ward was good for us 4 years ago. It's not 4 years ago.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do because, I mean, you got to find a way to get touches into the hands of Scott, Gainwell, and Sanders. and that's where we're going to get to see the pure genius of Sirianni.
All right. Moving on, the other name on your free agency that I'm intrigued by, that I could see being a difference maker if it comes to him, but I don't see him being any higher than maybe your 4th or 5th on your depth chart. But wide receiver from Indianapolis, Zach Pascal. Sorry.
I actually liked it when they signed him. I mean, I understood why they got him. You had to make some kind of a move, you know, with the way Jalen Reagor played. You had to do something. I trust him more than Jalen Reagor, but then
I trust my dog more than Jalen Reagor.
I do too, and mine's sleeping. So, she could probably catch a ball better than him, and she don't move.
Well, according to your co-host over there, apparently your dog's 192 years old. So
she's 16. So leave her alone. She's an old beagle.
But like I see Pascal having some Pascal having some upside for you guys.
I do too,
especially with younger quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what kind of rapport they get with each other. But no, I'm excited for it. He's like I said, what he did in Indianapolis, I don't think really showed what his skill level is. I mean, does that come down play calling, quarterback quality? Who knows? But like you said, it's Jalen Hurts he's still on the rise. He's still working and doing his thing. So, and I just like Pascal better than Reagor anyway. I'd rather have him out there, get more snaps, and just see what he can do.
I will. Chris? Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh, no, I mean Zach Pascal. He's a 1-year deal. It's that's not the pick that's going to make them a Super Bowl contender. He's got 15 receiving touchdowns in his 4-year career. He had Wentz last year as his quarterback. The year before, he had Phillip Rivers, and I think the year before he had Jacoby Brissett. So it's just Zach Pascal. He's a complimentary player. It's another guy. I'd rather see him on the field than Greg Ward. This infatuation with Greg Ward. I know he's cheap, but you're taking spots away from other players, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, I will say I like his chances. Funny you mentioned Carson Wentz already, because I will say I like Pascal's. Geez, I can't seem to get his name right tonight. I do like Pascal's chances of getting some good balls a lot better with Jalen Hurts than I did with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, I'm glad you guys finally moved on from Carson Wentz, because to be completely honest, after winning the Super Bowl, y'all kept the wrong quarterback.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. Don't go down that road.
All right. Before we go any further into the offseason, I need to know why you think we kept the wrong quarterback.
Because
don't say because he won a Super Bowl, because I doubt Giants fans in the 90s were like, let's keep Jeff Hostetler over Phil Simms. So please don't use he won a Super Bowl.
I wasn't just going to say that about the Super Bowl, but that does play a factor. Carson Wentz, even then, had already proven to be extremely injury prone, and yeah, it's unfortunate that when he went to Jacksonville, Foles did suffer the collarbone again. But for the most part, Foles has been a lot sturdier.
Well, I mean, look, he was in Chicago and he left the game because he bruised his ass. So I don't know if that's sturdy. Okay, I don't know if that's sturdy.
He's also playing in Chicago, so I can't really.
True. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't sit here and say that the Eagles kept the wrong quarterback. I mean, you're talking before in 2017, before Wentz got hurt, he was on an MVP pace. Like, if the season had ended when they played the Rams that day, he was MVP. He was MVP of the league. It would have been a unanimous decision. Nobody would have blinked an eye at it or thought twice about it. The thing that happened with this infatuation with Nick Foles, okay, fine. He came in, he had some good games, and he had 2 great games in the playoffs. I mean, what he did against Tom Brady and the Patriots is basically a Hercules-like feat. And I'm not going to ever take that away from him. I'm happy that he was the guy that was on the team and helped us win the Super Bowl. I mean, and I'll be the first to say, I don't know if Carson Wentz would have been able to put a game like that up against Tom Brady. But the season he was having, I mean, it's a good argument. I think that there's a lot of too much of the Folesian society. There's like all these people all of a sudden made him out to be like the GOAT, made him out just because they won the Super Bowl. I mean, look, I love him. He'll never have to pay for another meal in this town again, deservingly so. But, oh, God, I tell Chris all the time, I just want him to go away. I do.
So, and for the record, he does have an injury history. He missed 8 games in 2012 when he broke his clavicle. He broke his hand in the second to last game of the season. He had a concussion in 2013. He injured his shoulder in 2017, and he was he was inactive for 6 games, the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. And then he rebroke it in 2019, and then he got hurt in the Bears game. So to sit there and say that Foles doesn't have an injury history, I get it. You don't, you don't deal with what we deal with the Foles in society. And I'm a Nick Foles guy. Eric will tell you we talk about it all. We talk about it all the time. The guy will be my second favorite Eagle because he won the Super Bowl. He's had 3 good games in his career. He threw 7 touchdowns against Oakland in 2013 with 0 interceptions. He had the game of his life against the not the Steelers, against the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship game, and he had the game of his life in the Super Bowl. It's not a knock on him, but he's not an NFL. He's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback. He's a good guy who can come in and win you games. He's a reliable backup. You look at the Dallas Cowboys. They went out and they signed Andy Dalton, who was the starter in this league, and they saw the success of the Philadelphia Eagles. And they went out and they got a guy who can be a legitimate starter in this league, and they had him as a backup. So there are a lot of teams who are going into the seasons who have starting quarterbacks who, after that, it's usually a good second-tier quarterback. Except, I want to say it's San Diego. Well, not San Diego, the LA Chargers. Pretty sure Chase Daniel is their backup quarterback. That dude has made so much money doing the same shit that I do on a Sunday, except he's doing it with shoulder pads, and I'm doing it from my couch.
Oh my God.
Jeremy Vroman watching online. Yes, I am not too proud to admit where apparently I was wrong, as Eric and Chris have so blatantly made clear. So before I put my foot in my mouth again, we're going to move back
No. It's not putting your foot in your mouth. Listen, you're an outside guy, which is fine. There are people. So we actually had callers. Oh, God. This is what we had. The whole Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts debacle.
Mm-hmm.
We had people in this town actually say, trade Carson Wentz, or if you're going to keep Carson Wentz, have him be the backup to Jalen Hurts. If you don't, bring in Nick Foles as the starter, trade Wentz, and Jalen Hurts as the backup. So I need
that's the mindset.
I need. That's the thought concept, and it drove me out of my mind. Like, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I was a Wentz guy. I stuck up for the guy. He's a fellow Ginger. But the concussion that he suffered in 2019 apparently made him forget how to throw a goddamn football. Or he threw it to the wrong team. Like, I don't know if he was colorblind. He got married. He had relations. He had sex for the first time, but then forgot how to play football. He is no Deshaun Watson.
Or Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I'd rather Zach Wilson than what Deshaun Watson's going through. There's a lot less worse.
All right. Before I can't breathe. Moving on to the next. All right, so those are the only 2 free agents I'm seeing that you guys got for offense. Defense, outside linebacker, you got 2 brought in. From Carolina, you brought in Hassan Reddick, and from the Chargers, you brought in Kaiser White.
Kaiser White is a sleeper guy. You look at his numbers from last year and put him on this team now. Between White, Reddick, and another guy that we're going to get to in a little bit, I know. This linebacking core is completely revamped, and we haven't had linebackers since Jeremiah Trotter, the second time he was here. So, I'm stoked for the linebackers, for the defense. I'm completely stoked for it. And I like defense. I like offense. I like the whole. But this is going to be a special linebacking core, and between Reddick and like I said, White is going to be the guy that everybody goes, "Wow, where did he come from?" Because especially here in the East Coast, I'll guarantee you that our knowledgeable fan base that we have, which some of them are, others are idiot Delphians, but for the most part, the ones that don't know who Kaiser White is are going to find out.
As you mentioned, a lot of people are going to be looking at him like, wow, where did this guy come from?
Oh.
Honestly, with how much you guys have been building your defense up lately, I can also see a bunch of quarterbacks asking that same question.
Yep. Yeah. I'm so stoked for that defense, especially the linebacking core. And we haven't even gotten to the one that I'm really excited about yet.
Yeah, I mean, Kazir White, I don't know if I think people know who he is. You know, he had a lot of tackles last year. He had 144 tackles last year. I know he played on the Chargers. You know, and if you are a supposed football fan, if you're a supposed Eagles fan, knowledgeable fan, you know who Kazir White is. If you don't, you're stupid. Plain and simple. The guy, you know, he was on a Chargers team. You know, he got overlooked because obviously they got Justin Herbert. The running back, I can't think of his name, Austin Eckler,
Eckler,
yeah. And it was just overshadowed because they were scoring points and the defense was so. So, you know, you had that, and you know, you got the Chargers and then you got the Rams. You know, who are you going to talk more about? You're going to talk more about Aaron Donald, or you're going to talk more about Kazir White? You're going to talk about Aaron Donald. Kazir White, like you said, was an under the radar signing. Fans are going to love him. And, you know, the segue into the next player that you want to introduce that we got.
I was moving on to here. It's showing your two new free safeties.
Well, I was going with Hassan Reddick first.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, I did mention Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, so you know, we can get to the safeties in a minute, but like you got to remember something. Hassan Reddick signed he's a DE. He's a linebacker. He's going to be rushing a quarterback, which is going to do nothing but make, honestly, the secondary's job easy. And the secondary wasn't that bad last year. It really wasn't. Yeah. I love Hassan Reddick. He's a local guy. He's from Temple. You know, he was a maniac at Carolina, and he came back home, unlike Johnny Gaudreau for the Calgary Flames. He came back home to Philadelphia.
Yes, he did.
Eric was already expressing some pain with the Johnny Gaudreau situation before you joined us, Chris.
I'm just, you know, I'm not, you know what it is? I'm just annoyed at our GM. Our GM's a goddamn moron. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have another comment here. AG saying preach. I can only imagine that's in agreement to your glowing review of Kazir White.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to play. I can't.
I'll be right back.
Okay, man.
But Hassan Reddick, what's your takes on what he's going to do with you guys?
Oh, I think he's going to be great in that locker room, especially for a young guy like Kazir White and a certain rookie linebacker coming into the league for the Eagles out of Georgia.
We'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a perfect mentor and a great veteran presence in that locker room. Like Chris said, you know, he signed a 3-year deal and he's basically coming home to the area. And I mean, I'm seeing on the news here, he's like got camps that he's doing all over the place, and he's just doing a lot of stuff in the community already. So I mean, he's already got a leg up with the fan base that way. But he's just a leader. He's just a leader, and he gets it done on the field. And when they signed him, I was completely happy. I was like, all right, cool. They finally addressed the linebacker position. Then they slide. You know, they have he signed on March 16th, and then they signed White just 10 days later on the 26th. So I mean, they made it clear that they were beefing up that defense, and it's starting with the linebackers. And I think Reddick is going to be a perfect leader and a force out there for the Eagles.
With a 3-year, $45 million contract, I hope so.
Yeah, yes, a lot of people hope so around here. That's for sure.
Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles paid $27 million for a quarterback to go away. I'm okay with paying a linebacker who knows how to play the game.
That is true. That is very true.
Much like the Browns paying $10 million this year for a quarterback to go away.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Browns are going to continually brown.
Yes, they are.
All right. So moving on to free safeties that you guys have pulled in the free agency. One of them was a re-signing, and then you brought one in from San Francisco with, I'm going to butcher this, but Jaquiski Tart and Anthony Harris.
Yes. Yeah.
Jaquiski, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. He was signed really late. He was signed in June.
Yeah, I was surprised that happened like that late. I really was. Like he's a good player, and for him to sit that long, I think the Eagles got to deal with him. I really do, and he's hell of a player, man, hell of a safety.
So this team, and again, I don't make predictions, not after 2017. If you go back and you look at the moves this team made, and with the players they got and the veterans they got, it almost reminds me of the moves that they made in 2017, the year they went to the Super Bowl. It's got to go back and look. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying like they're making these. The Eagles signed Torrey Smith in 2017. They signed Zach Pascal. Not that Torrey Smith is clearly better than Zach Pascal at this point, but you have that. You have Alshon Jeffrey signing. They traded for AJ Brown. And then the safeties. They signed Rodney McLeod that year to go along with Malcolm Jenkins. So now you have Jaquiski Tart, and you have. They still have. I can't think of his name. The safety that they drafted from Clemson.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Wallace.
Kayvon Wallace. He was having a good couple games and he just got hurt. So they're making these off these the Anthony Harris. Anthony Harris is a good player. He wasn't bad last year for the Eagles. So you have all these things, and they're making these little under. You're like, why are they making these moves? And if you go back and you just look, I go, all right, well, it's almost an identical blueprint to what they did in 2017. Again, I'm not saying the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. The closest I'll come to it is that they will most likely win the division. It would be my guess, but that's as far as I go. Again, I had the Eagles at 9-7 and 10-6 in 2017, with the possibility of maybe winning on that last day against Dallas to sneak in as a wild card as a division winner, not have the number 1 overall seed and go to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback.
All right, I can respect that. I think you got a good take on what Harris is going to bring for you, because that's, especially for only $2.5 million, that's a big momentum making signing for you guys.
You're absolutely right. I mean, and what did you say Tart made, like $1 million?
Tart's signed for $1.12 million.
And then you got that rookie. There's like $5 million in the secondary,
or
in the safety position. It's stuff like that you're like how does Howie do it?
He's a genius with the cap. That's why.
Like, how does he do it? Like think about how he does it. Because I don't know. We talked about it, and then we have a video. I don't know. Do you watch Breaking Bad? Have you ever watched it?
I don't have a lot of time for TV, but and when I do, it's usually something sports related. So I unfortunately have not.
Yeah, it's there. There's a scene in the series where one of the main characters is just screaming like he can't keep getting away with it. It's pretty funny, and that's how I use it with Howie. Because I'm sorry, if on draft night the phone rings and it's a 267-610 or 484 area code, if I'm a GM, I'm not answering it. I'm not, because Howie talks them into some ridiculous moves, and then we're like, how, like what? I just ridiculous. Like it's almost like unfair.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same boat that we're looking at here in Pittsburgh with the Penguins right now with the free agent re-signings that Hextall has somehow pulled off.
Oh, Hextall.
But the fact that he's kept four major people between Casey DeSmith, Rickard Raquel, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang, all for less than 20.6 mil for the next year, it's like comparable to what you're saying there with the GM of the Eagles right now with some of the moves he's pulling off.
Ron Hextall is out of his mind. Good luck with him.
I mean, the game that I can't remember who the goal scorer was, but the game where he turned around and chased him around the freaking rink while he was still playing goaltender. Yes, Chris Chelios.
He did that because Chris Chelios leveled Brian Propp.
No, he didn't level Brian Propp. He legally murdered him.
His soul left his body. He legally murdered him.
Like it's and he was insane when he was the GM here. Insane.
Yeah,
You know what? Since we did segue into hockey, I was going to save this surprise for you guys till we actually got after the draft discussion, and we're going to talk about the expectations for the season. But as soon as he finally clicks the link and joins in here, I've got a special surprise for you guys.
Okay. But so we'll get back to that and then we'll talk hockey. But yeah, like you said, the Tart signing like 7 year, like he's a 7 years. He's got 344 tackles in 7 seasons. And he wasn't a starter, but he was a good. Not that he was a good player. He was a role player. So I just sometimes I question these motos by teams.
Now, while we're waiting for the other guest to join, let's move on to the next. Let's try to run through the last 3 signings, starting with defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. 1 year, 14 mil.
I think Fletcher Cox is going to have a good year because of Hassan Reddick and Kazir White. It's going to take if he's going to get double teamed, he's still got some juice in him. You know, I'm tired of the Aaron Donald comparisons. Listen, I love Fletcher Cox. He's not Aaron Donald.
All right, here he is. Since we are talking Flyers or Eagles, and we've had a few segues into Flyers, let's bring on a journalist that covers the Flyers and somebody that you guys apparently know quite well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All I see is the name.
Oh, God.
So
you
funny.
knew, Fuzzy, or whatever the hell you call yourself these days.
Frankie James, how are you, pal?
Ernie, how are you, my brother? How's our wife?
Too much,
How you boys
man.
doing? Good to see you.
Doing
Good,
good.
man.
I heard a rumor that you guys were going to be on this show here with Joffrey. I said, Joffrey, you got to do me a favor. We're going to lead me in, and we're going to get me on there, and we're going to surprise the boys. All right? Hopefully you guys are surprised. I'm sure you guys are surprised.
Yeah, nothing surprises me anymore.
That's
so,
Hold on.
obviously, I heard you guys. Just give a quick take before I don't take over the show or anything. The Flyers moves, hockey moves. Let me tell you something. I am so embarrassed of this team right now. What are you wearing? What is that?
I hate that damn thing.
Anyway,
It's
the fact that they couldn't move for cap space. You signed Risto, didn't need to be done. You signed players and extended them, and it just didn't need to be done. The season has been over since December, and you couldn't move anything to get a star player like Johnny. I literally turned everything down. Literally waited there for the Flyers to just bring him home, and it couldn't be done. Realistically, I think I saw the Philly Fanatic post that he was actually fired, and I almost believed it. That's how true it really could have been. I'm ashamed, and let me tell you something right now. Not the plug, but Frank the Tank will be doing a little something probably tonight or tomorrow, and we're gonna dive into it fully because not good, not good.
No, it was flat out embarrassing that they weren't able to get Gaudreau here in Philly. Now, I mean, you're dialed into the team. Is there any truth to the fact that James Van Riemsdyk, JVR for the locals that are watching this, that like he just wouldn't like work on them with restructuring the last year of his deal to make some cap space?
Whether it's restructured or not, realistically, he should have been moved. I would have moved. He should have been moved. I mean, I would have moved him a year or 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Now he's putting up my comments. 2 years ago, he was a player that came back with the thoughts of, I don't know what they had expected to get out of him. Essentially, he played the role of Wayne Simmons, and Wayne Simmons was a true flyer. I would have kept him, probably on a cheaper deal as well. They overpaid him so much money to stand in front of the net and to try and score goals. They should. I waive him. At least you're going to lose a couple bucks. Nobody's going to pick him up, and hopefully somebody did. I would have waived him. If they didn't trade him 2 years ago, I would have waived him last year.
Yeah, I was just very. I was really let down that they weren't able to move JVR because that seemed to be like the last piece they needed to finish.
I was hoping to see how Kraken were going to take him.
Chris, I only threw that last comment up so you could yell at Frankie.
Which one was it?
The one about his hair. He's got the little poof going.
I like it, bro, and that's why we got the headband on. Dude, look at mine. You kidding me?
No, you know what it is? I got back from, I got a haircut.
Another vacation?
No.
We're on vacation?
No, I'm going down the shore for 4 days on Friday.
Yeah, you sure or not, Chris? You're quite the traveler, man. I mean,
I went on a cruise, and then I going down the shore for my son's soccer tournament. I really
very nice. Yeah,
I really wouldn't sit there and say that that's traveling and having fun.
That's the extent of my travel is Wildwood.
Traveling with kids, unless you're the last greatest father in the world, being Chris here, it's never fun.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm Griswold.
But
no, seriously, the whole Flyers thing is such a debacle. It's such a disgrace. I don't know if Chuck Fletcher's like, I'm not gonna leave this mess to Danny Briere and him not have a first round pick. I don't know what it was. It made zero sense. The guy, supposedly made it clear he wanted to come here, and it was there. I don't get it.
Exactly that. It was there. And, even worse, you just said the first round pick. You're essentially, what you're getting is JVR and a first for Johnny G, because you're going to clear the cap space. But with that being said, look everything that he had done. You brought in Risto and another player. You gave up 4 or 5 first. Like look at the list of everything. Ghost, other players, a fourth, a third. Like you gave up so many players for nothing, and so many first round picks. So just to even think like that, I don't want to, give up my first for Danny. I want him to make sure he has it. You already gave up way too much for nothing. Realistically, you were gonna literally trade away JVR in a first for essentially Johnny Gaudreau. I'm sick. And you guys know how I am. I typically don't get too emotional unless we're talking about Claude Giroux. But this is disgusting.
Apparently, Shane Rowan and Chris Dog agree with you.
I agree with him also.
Yeah, Shane Rowan he's a friend of mine. I'm friends with his parents, and he took me to Giroux's 1,000th career game as a Flyer.
I was there. I was the first game as a fan that I went to in 4 years, I think. I sat right behind the bench.
So he's a huge Flyers guy. He went to at least 25. I think he went to like 20 to 25 games. And he loves the Flyers. He was upset when Giroux got traded. Listen, that game, that Claude Giroux 1,000th game. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little emotional. I didn't cry, but I was like,
I cried.
Like
as we all knew I would.
Then I went to that game, and then I went to the very next home game when he wasn't there. So it was.
It was weird.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling. So I sat right behind the bench. I'll have to send you guys some pictures. I sat right behind the bench, and last 3.5 minutes, obviously being right that close, I noticed it. He didn't step foot on the ice. And
No.
I was like, wait a minute. He hasn't been on. Why wouldn't they let him get one final shift? And I was like, oh my God, he's going, dude. He's moving. He's going.
Like, put him on the ice and let him get an empty net goal.
Thank you. Something. And you saw how hard he tried for it too. You know, Claude Giroux, I guess if we're on it, before I obviously skip out, Claude Giroux is now with Ottawa. He's gonna play. He's gonna play with the Brinket. But realistically, all that comes to my mind is Claude Giroux is gonna end up retiring without a Stanley Cup. I mean, obviously it's not set in stone because you never know what can happen. But realistically, that's probably what's gonna happen. It's a shame for all the years that we had him and we couldn't get him what he really needed. He was a damn good player. Obviously a so-so captain more or less. But, guy never had any scoring on his team. When he played with Matt Reed for 5 years, what do you expect? On that note, great show, guys. Philly podcast. You guys are my family. I love you more than anything. I had to pop in and say hi. I'm tuning in. Love you guys.
Later, buddy.
All right. Nice cameo from Frank the Tank. He's kind of played a mentor role with me here at Mooncutter Sportscast and with the launch of Running Force Productions Network.
Cool. Very good. Yeah, good guy.
But we have two more free agent moves before we move on to your draft. Another re-signing at defensive end, Derek Barnett.
I'm not impressed with that. I'm really not. You're muted. You're muted, Chris. Yeah, I'm not impressed with it.
I got nothing for you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I thought he was going.
There's literally he's made 2 plays in his career.
That's it.
He recovered the fumble in the NFC Championship game. I'm sorry, he caused the fumble in the NFC Championship game, and he recovered the fumble in the Super Bowl on that Brandon Graham caused. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing else. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if that's the only impact plays that he's had in his career, that's a little shocking that they re-signed him 3 years for $15.21 million.
Yeah, that signing right there just makes me retract every good thing we've said about Howie Roseman because I don't understand that signing one bit. I mean, I was happy that the season was over because I'm like, okay, Barnett's gone. I know he'd been rumored to be traded a few times, and like Fletcher Cox had been rumored, and it just never happened. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess Barnett's going to walk, and that's it. And then they sign him up.
All right. He's right. All right, so you threw me off guard when you said 3 years, $15 million. I'm like, if this jerk-off's getting $15 million a year, I may lose my shit. But that's how I tell you how irritated I was with his re-signing. With that being said, he's 5 years. I'm sorry, he's 3 years. Essentially, it's a 1-year deal worth 5.5, and they can move on from him, or, with a little bit of cap space, dead cap in the following year. But I ain't gonna lie, dude, you scared the shit out of me when you said that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I'm going off a spot rack right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm on too. Yeah, no, you're right. No, you made it right. But when you said 3 years, 15, I'm like, this jerk-off's getting paid $15 million a year to commit penalties. I have a thing that I say with Eric. We talk about, last night we did, our top, we're doing a top 10 player countdown since it's 10 Sundays to football. Last week was 10. This week was 9. And, one of them was Calvin Johnson. Everybody knows how good of a monster Calvin Johnson was. And, one of the highlights I played was a 2015 game against the Eagles where Eric Rowe gave up 3 touchdowns. Do something. Put me in. I know I can give up 3 touchdowns to Eric Rowe. I know for a fact if I'm Derek Barnett, I can commit a roughing the passer penalty. I can commit some kind of stupid penalty that's going to hurt my team. I know this. So, when I sit there and I see signings like this, like he just said, it makes me irritated as a Howie fan when you're like, well, why would you re-sign him? Like, he's not good, but for $5 million, it's a low risk, high reward kind of thing. If you want to move on from after 2022, it looks like it cost you dead cap of $1.5 million, which it doesn't kill you.
All right,
Right.
so we kind of just shit all over Howie Roseman with what is it? What's his last name? Rosen?
Roseman.
We did kind of just shit all over Howie Roseman when we discussed the Barnett pick or signing. Let's see if we can at least give him back a little bit more credit with the cornerback he signed. 1 year, $7.25 million for James Bradbury from the Giants.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, last year he wasn't that great for the Giants. He had a like so season, but him combined with Darius Slay, that's a really good duo in what you call it with the cornerbacks. I loved it. What?
He's like, who would you rather have on the edges? You, Sheen.
Well, not Derek Barnett. Yeah, no, I was very happy with that Bradbury signing. Like you kind of felt that it was going to happen, you know, when he got released because it was a glaring hole for the other side across from Slay, and they went out and did it. I mean, okay, what was it, $10 million? I think it's worth it. You know, the guy's a Pro Bowler. I'll take it. You know, so it was a 1 year deal, correct? 1 year,
Yep.
$10 million. Yeah,
1 year, $10 million. For what? For Bradbury, it was. It's
Yeah.
looking like 1 year, $7.25 million.
$7.25 million. Okay.
Bonuses and everything else.
Yeah, with the bonuses and stuff, it comes out to about $10 million. But whatever, it's still a good deal for him. I was happy with it, so I was really happy with it, and that gives them a legitimate cornerback duo this year in the NFC. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, I had no issues with it. You know, it's what the Eagles needed. It's almost like that was their missing piece on defense. You had the linebackers, you got the front four, you had the two safeties, and you had Darius Slay.
Right.
All right. I definitely like the Bradbury pickup for you guys. I think he's going to definitely keep. What position was he again?
Cornerback.
I definitely think he's going to bolster your secondary and and help out with blocking the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I wanted to verify what position he was before I open mouth insert foot.
That's fine.
Now, moving on to your draft. Before we even talk about the draft picks you guys made, y'all were involved in probably the biggest blockbuster draft day trade.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing in Hollywood himself, A.J. Brown.
We were doing a live show like during the draft. We were doing a draft special, and I had my laptop going, I had my phone going, and I was scouring Twitter for everything that was coming. I was trying to break picks before they were actually picked, and you have to look it up on sixpackcoverage.com's YouTube channel, Six Pack Coverage, and look at our draft special and the reaction that this guy Chris makes when I announced to him that they traded for A.J. Brown. He almost blew up the internet with his reaction. It was the funniest thing ever.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, can we get a reenactment?
No.
Well, so funny, but no, it was. And up until they traded for A.J. Brown, the biggest move they made at wide receiver was signing Zach Pascal. Okay, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, the Eagles aren't doing nothing to help Jalen Hurts. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts guy. I'm really not. He still has some deficiencies that he's got to work on. But they went out and got him. They went out and got him A.J. Brown. Like, I was complaining about how the Dolphins went out and got Tyreek Hill. They got like a couple running backs. You know, they're making moves to help their quarterback, their young quarterback. And I felt the Eagles weren't doing anything like that. I mean, yeah, you have Boston Scott. All right, that's great, but he's not playing wide out. And I think this move is going to really help Jalen Hurts. I really hope it does. I hope his little deficiencies that he has to grow into and mature into, that with A.J. Brown, he sees his full potential, and hopefully we see, this dark horse MVP candidate that everybody claims he's going to be. So I love it. I love the fact that they got A.J. Brown.
I mean, you want to say ways to help out a young growing quarterback?
Yep.
What better way to do it than to trade and bring in arguably, I don't even know if it's worth it to say arguably, but a top 10 run receiver.
Yeah, and they're best friends. They're best friends on top of it. They got chemistry. They know each other. I'm now excited. I'm now excited to see what Jalen Hurts can do and what AJ Brown can do. I'm excited. Now I legit got excited for the season with that trade.
As I'm sure a lot of people across the league did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was no one saw it coming, and if they did, you're a liar.
I did.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. Listen, they went out, they made a trade. Like he said, we were not confident in Jalen Hurts, and you saw all these moves being made, all these signings, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, why can't we? Like, what's going on? Like, why aren't we getting this? Like, why? What about us? As they sit there,
we lost him. He'll be back. But no, I know what he was going to say. It came down to all these receivers were being moved all over the place, and guys signing as free agents, and the Eagles weren't seemingly doing anything. And then you have this trade. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was complete shock. You usually have little leaks and inklings of stuff that's going to happen, or this player could go here. You didn't hear one thing linking AJ Brown to the Eagles or him on the block or anything like that. You heard that there's possibilities he could be moved, but that's all you heard was possibilities and no teams at all. There he is, and no teams at all being mentioned with him. And then all of a sudden, boom, trade. I don't know if you saw it or not, Joffrey, but there's video of Jason Kelce was doing a live draft show for somebody, and when the trade gets announced, he freaks out. He is Philadelphia's spirit animal. Jason Kelce is just the coolest thing since sliced bread, and I mean he's just awesome. So
yeah,
I know I was I can't remember if this was right when I was leaving my house, getting ready to leave for work, because if I'm not mistaken, this trade happened within the first, at the beginning of the first round, right? When the trade went through. Yeah. All I know is I'm getting ready to leave to go to work that night, because I was working at a hotel in Robinson, which is about 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. But I know I was getting ready to leave the house. I'm watching the live draft tracker, and at first I'm seeing Philly on the board, and then it switches to Tennessee, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then when I get the push notification from ESPN saying blockbuster trade, Eagles give Tennessee their, what was it, 12th overall pick?
Yeah.
12th overall pick in exchange for AJ Brown. I'm just like, what?
All right, here. So I found it. This is the live reaction.
Who did you want? Okay, you know what? They probably looked at it and were like, Kyle Hamilton. If you guys don't think these GMs talk to each other, go watch Draft Day 9 times. They talk to each other. They know who the hell's getting taken. They know who they're taking. If Kyle
Whoa! Breaking news: the Tennessee Titans are trading wide receiver AJ Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles per Adam Schefter.
Get the hell out of here!
That's what my guy just tweeted out. I'm retweeting it right now. Holy shit! If that's true,
Don't play with my emotions.
That's true. That's freaking amazing. Now he's tweeting. Now he's like looking. What the hell's going on?
Wow.
He's like,
I was out of town for work, and I was in Chicago, and I was in my hotel room, and and then later on in the night, I fell out of my chair. I don't even know why, but like I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean they traded for AJ Brown? You're
get
lying.
the hell out of here! Like,
Like,
I just fucking
seriously.
standing. Oh my god!
Don't play with
Oh.
my emotions. That was the best part of that.
Oh yeah, it was.
But
Don't
he-
you play with my emotions? It
But-
was.
But literally, like, I guess it's like a half an hour, 45 minutes later, I get a text message from my fiance who's watching the show, and she's like, "Chris just fell out of his chair," and I look over at the screen, and all I see is his feet. I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" I was like, "My God!"
What was
this
that?
is a-
What made you fall out of your chair? Was it the other big trade at number 22?
No.
Who knows? I don't even remember. We had such a long night. We were live for 3 hours.
We were
And-
delirious.
It was. And I hadn't eaten at one point. I was like, "You're going solo because I got to go to Denny's and get chicken wings. I'm starving because the hotel didn't have room service." I was like, "This is." So I left for like 13 minutes, and I came back, and he was still going. And I'm like, "All right, here's me eating live. Like I don't give a shit. Like I'm like dozing off, and like and the best part is he's watching like the NFL Network, and he's making these comments. I'm like, wait, who the hell are you talking about? Because I'm watching ESPN, and they're completely different people, and he's just making these comments. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with this girl. Like I'm like, it's RG3. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so we're like on
All right.
completely different channels.
I'm gonna say this after seeing the reaction video to the Hollywood Brown trade. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna request it now. Next year, Moon Cutters and Philly dual stream for the freaking draft day.
I'm down.
Listen, you know what's funny is we tried to get other people to come on.
They were
We got a Patriots fan to come on, and they end up trading this pick. And he's like, "All right, I guess I'm signing
he's
out."
like, "I'm leaving."
He's like, "All right, so I guess I'm not going to be here that much longer." And then he went on like a 5-minute tangent about the Patriots always trading their picks out of the first round, and was like, "All right, I'm done. I'm leaving."
Yeah, he's like, on that note, I'm leaving. See ya. He's gone.
So he reenacted the SpongeBob meme. I'm head out.
Yes,
Bye.
out. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was. The whole. It was. The whole AJ Brown. Obviously, from my reaction, I jumped out of my seat. There again. No one saw that. There isn't, and if you sit there and say,
Well,
you saw,
I'm pretty sure all of the Moon Cutter fans just saw that.
oh well, no, not that. I'm saying the AJ Brown trade.
Oh my God.
No, I
Well,
definitely did not.
Listen, after I went back and I saw that, I downloaded the video off of YouTube, and then I edited it, and then I put together that 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and I put it on our TikTok, and it was like our third most watched video that week. It was like 1,600 people. And people were like commenting like, "Don't play with my emotions," and just LOL. Like, listen, I'm an Eagles fan. Like, I'm a Philadelphia sports fan. We got weak hearts. like we've dealt with a lot of heartbreak. Like, so when you sit there and say, you got this, you got that, and then can I just point out how Eric alluded that AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are best friends? Whatever, they're friends, whatever, they're close. AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts was hanging out at AJ Brown's house for his daughter's birthday, and they got their picture taken with Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And it's quite possibly the worst Mickey and Minnie. It's worse than what you see on New York when you're down. It was terrible. Like, they literally looked like they got him off the subway and like, "Here's a mask. Here's a mask. I'm gonna need you to come play Mickey and Minnie for an hour."
It was like the guy that played Santa. They just threw him out there and said, "Here you go."
No, the guy who played Santa was already drunk. Like, yeah, let's give this guy, go piss off the Philadelphia fans.
Okay.
But the whole AJ Brown. Listen. It was the whole week that we were leading up until I left to go to Chicago. It was like, I don't know, man. I was like, they may draft a quarterback. I was like, because they have made zero moves to help this guy. They have Miles Sanders. They got Zach Pascal. think Kenneth Gainwell was a good player. Dallas Goedert, who I think is going to be a stud. He's very good now. I just think he needs to take that next leap to get. He doesn't have Zach Ertz breathing down his neck, but and then you're just like, I don't know, man. They might draft Kenny Pickett. They may draft, all the players who got drafted.
Willis.
Malik Willis, they might draft a quarterback, and then that comes through, and you're like, holy shit, what the hell just happened?
That is, I'm going to be honest. I wish there was video proof of it, because the clip that you just showed of your reaction to the Hollywood Brown trade rivals the reaction I had when New York traded up to get Jermaine Johnson.
That's awesome. That's what makes this so much fun. These live shows that you do.
I'm going to say this. I thought the free agency up until the draft was insane as it already. But when draft day rolled around, the league apparently said, "Here, hold my beer."
Pretty much. It was good stuff. It was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was, it was like Sonny Weaver. we kept going back to, one of my favorite scenes is, when he's like, now I want, the special teams player. You go back and he's like, why? Because I want him. And you're like, wait, what? You're out of your mind. I know I am. It's just, I don't know. I loved everything Howie did, and and that was just the first pick.
That was it.
And then it was, you go and you draft Jordan Davis, and it was everybody.
All right, we're going for first round back. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's we have everybody going, oh, Jordan Davis is lazy. It's risky. Did anyone watch him at Georgia? He was a beast.
Well, people were bringing into question his weight and everything. That's what it was. They were wondering if he was going to be like a 4-down guy. And in camp, he's trimmed down. I mean, now I don't know how much that's done for his cardio right now. I mean, it's still a rookie, still early on. I mean, they haven't really seen much action. It's just been, it's just been like OTAs. But they're saying that he's trimmed down and he looks really good and that his stamina is up. That's all I care about. I mean, because you had a highlight reel of him, and that one play, it was 3 guys were covering him, and he still just barreled through them. 3 guys were on him, and he still killed them all. You want to talk about legal murder? That's what he did on that field on that play. He just destroyed them.
And this was your 13th overall pick in the first round.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, the fact that they're giving flack about the weight, aren't defensive tackles usually pretty hefty guys to begin with?
I thought so.
Yeah, because most of the time they're run stoppers. So that basically the fatter you are, you're going to plug you in the middle, like old school. And they would say, "Oh, if you're fat playing baseball, you're catcher." No, this is the guy. That's what you want. You want a big guy to stop the run. But hell, I'll take it if he can be really athletic and help in the pass protection.
He ran a 4.7.
That's the other thing. He ran a 4.7. A dude that size ran a 4.7. 4.7.
That's impressive, because I mean I'm about 5'11", 250, and my ass can't even run a 4.7.
I can run a 4.7 to the fridge because it's right there.
See, and I don't get, and I try not to get all hyped up about combine numbers, because as far as I'm concerned, they're not being tested. It's just them out there doing their thing. It's fun to watch. I love. I record it every year. I sit down. I come home. I watch it. But
you're insane.
Well, I told you, man. The off season for me is my favorite time of year. I love the GM stuff, the scouting stuff. I love that. I love that shit. And yeah, but for him to run a 4.7, I was like, okay, talk about his stamina. I just saw this dude who's a monster run a 4.7. He was a dump truck running 4.7.
So Eric's the guy that when he picked up a copy of Madden 22, simmed the games and just did all the in between shit on GM mode or on franchise mode. Got it.
I definitely like went in once that came out. Once that was a feature, I definitely started doing the GM mode, and then I bought the was it EA Sports? I think it was 2009. It's called NFL Head Coach. Tony Dungy's on the cover.
Yep.
Dude, I loved it. I loved it. I was like, this is what I'm here for. Let me build this team. Let Andy Reid run, like, do the coaching. It was beautiful. I loved it. Loved it. Love that shit. Love it.
Man, I have that game in my freaking drawer in my bedroom for my PS3, and I ain't never played it. Now you got me kind of wanting to try it.
Well, it's sitting in this box right behind me because I'm getting ready to move. It's right in my box, right here, right with my game system. It's right there.
I got Tecmo Bowl.
Bo Jackson, baby. Bo Jackson.
Yeah. You know what? On second thought, I'm going to Fuzzy's house. But anyways, so Jordan Davis, first round. I generally, when we get to the draft, I go from 7th round forward, just because save the best for last. But
That's fine.
You already knocked out of the park with Jordan Davis. So moving forward, 2nd round, Cam Jurgens, center out of Nebraska, from one hefty individual to another.
Beautiful.
So when it first happened, we didn't like this pick because we wanted someone else. But
yeah,
this was a really good pick. He's shaping him up. Kelsey is shaping him up as his replacement. And there's no other guy that you want training you than the guy you're replacing. And Kelsey's like, yeah, I know. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
He's down at the beach in South Jersey handing out beers and drinking beers with fans. Yeah, he doesn't get trained in the offseason. I'm sorry. He doesn't. He's like, I play football. I got to block and hike a ball.
Yep. Yeah, Chris is right. When they made that pick, at first we didn't like it. We had somebody else, like he said, someone else in mind. And I was like, all right, well, another big guy, can't go wrong with building in the trenches. I'll take it. That was an Andy Reid thing. If your guy wasn't there, draft a lineman. Can't go wrong. And the more and more that I read about him, the more and more film I watched of him, I was like, you know what? This kid ain't too bad. I was like, if Kelsey can really get under him, get inside his head and teach him technique, I was like, this could be a steal. I was like, this could be a legitimate steal. And so I got to love this pick.
Yeah, you're not going to hear you're not going to hear me bash this pick. He's not going to play. But Kelsey's 35 years old. Let's be realistic. If you look at the Eagles, they're fairly young. They got 25. Jordan Mailata's 25, and he just you got to go. You want to go back and watch highlights of someone, Joffrey? Go watch what he did to a couple people last year. They're not called pancakes. They were called Mailatas. He just ended people's life. Their soul would leave their body. Driscoll is, he is what he is. He's not a bad player. And he drafted Landon Dickerson last year, who played pretty good at the end of last season. So, he's a Alabama guy, and that guy at Alabama doesn't recruit schlubs. Doesn't recruit a lot of jabronis, that Alabama head coach. I'm just saying. He doesn't recruit one-star players. He's not recruiting me to play quarterback. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. I think you guys said enough about your 2nd round pick. Moving on to round 3, you had the 83rd pick. You took Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean.
That was the guy we wanted in the 2nd. That's who we wanted in the 2nd. And we were on pins and needles waiting for this effing pick. When they finally got to him, it was, all right, this has to be it. And like I said, I was reading the tweets going out, and I read it ahead of time, and I was like, Chris, who do you think it is? And he's like, if you don't say this guy's name, he was so mad. And I was like, I'll just let it sit back and let it go. And I let them announce it. But yeah, dude's a monster linebacker. I love it. And to put him with Reddick and White, this draft was one of my favorite drafts. One of my favorite drafts in a long time.
Right, and it goes back to when I was talking about Fletcher Cox, and you have unfortunately Derek Barnett, and then you have Jordan Davis. If you double team one of those guys, a hole is going to open up, and Nakobe Dean is so fast and he's so strong that he'll be there, or Hassan Reddick will be there, or Kazir White will be there. Like, their defense should be like a top 15 defense.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now, we've already discussed 3 big linebackers you guys brought in. And after your 3rd round pick, you didn't actually get another one until pick 181 in the 6th. But the 4th linebacker we're going to discuss, out of Kansas, Kyron Johnson.
Yeah, he was one of those guys where and I was like, I forgot about this guy. I completely forgot about him. And another, like you said, big guy, good player. I was very, very, very happy with that draft pick. So I got to admit that was a beautiful pick. Now it added depth to the linebacking core, and
like he said, it's depth. He was the 2nd pick in the 6th round. It's going to be a special teamers, and there's nothing wrong with having him as a special teamer. You gear him up for. You have him for 2-3 years, almost like Premier Grugier Hill. I don't know if I know you know who he is, but or Jordan Hicks. Like, these are guys who are special teamers when they started out.
He's got to yell at the kids. He's like, I'm trying to do a show. Oh man, but here.
I told him that earlier.
I'm sorry. Did you hear me yelling at him?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah, so that was like what my, good pick, special teams player. It's 2nd round. It's the 2nd pick in the 6th round. Like, what else do you want from them? Like, we're going into where we're just throwing up darts and hopefully one of these guys lands.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But no, that was that. I felt it was an underrated pick when it was made, but no, I was very happy with that. I was really happy with that one.
And now we're getting to the back half of the 6th round. And I guess with your team, this year's most irrelevant draft pick, but somebody that down the line could show some growth. SMU tight end Grant Calcaterra.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
There's a funny story with that. So his dad is friends with my boss at my job, and he actually retired 3 years ago from concussions. And he was an EMT about to go into law school, and they think he finally got cleared to play, and then went, and the rest is history. Played 3 years, and he gets drafted. Now, look at the Eagles' track record of tight ends that they draft.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bad tight ends. So it's Brent Selleck. LJ Smith was good for a couple years. Like these guys, for some reason, they can draft tight ends. They can't draft wide receivers, but they can draft tight ends. So it's, it's a crap 22 shoot. Like,
no,
you got him. Could be a steal. Could be a 6th round pick who's going to play special teams.
No, unfortunately, the Steelers team to have the gambit run on sleeper wide receiver picks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, they just seem to have a wide receiver like every year. They really do. They honestly do. They seem to have one every year, and I mean, good for them. Good for them. I mean, like I've been saying for years that the Eagles need to go and poach somebody from that scouting department with the Steelers because they could really use someone.
I don't know. The Steelers did get a great pickup on receiver with George Pickens, but let's see how it's going to go because it's not proven yet if he's actually going to have anyone throwing to him.
Well, Chris is pretty I can't talk tonight. He's pretty high on Trubisky in Pittsburgh, but then they got my guy Pickett. I was I like Pickett.
Listen, I think Trubisky gets a lot of unwarranted hate. The problem with Trubisky is he was traded for a lot of picks, and then Mahomes was taken, and Deshaun Watson was taken. So like there's that's and you sit there and say that's just the way the NFL is, and it is. Why he was drafted 2 or 3 it makes zero sense. But I'm not an NFL GM. I'm a guy sitting in my dining room talking, recapping the Eagles NFL draft. So, I think Mitch Trubisky just gets a little unwarranted hate. If you go and you look at his game, it's somewhat similar to Ben Roethlisberger with the RPO. They ran that a couple times, and Trubisky's athletic. He's got a good arm. He almost beat the Eagles in 2018 in the first round of the playoffs, but we had the double doink.
Unfortunately, though, for Trubisky, I think he's going to end up taking he's at this point got a high paycheck for a backup, because with the Steelers drafting Pickett, the fact that Matt Canada already has that background with Pickett, and the fact that the Steelers have obviously had 4 years worth of tape, not even tape, but live viewership of what Pickett can do. I think with that pick, it's pretty obvious he's going to be your day one starter.
I mean, let's put it this way: out of all the quarterbacks in the draft, he was the most NFL ready. He was the most ready to go, and I felt it was a very good pick. By Pittsburgh. Considering that Ben was done, he's out of here. He's not finally, but he's retired. It was a great pick for them, and
no, I'm going to back you up. Yes, finally.
Yes, finally. See, I was always a Roethlisberger fan. I like quarterbacks. I like the big quarterbacks. I'm not a fan of the scrambling quarterbacks. I mean, I know they have a place in the NFL, but to this day, show me a quarterback that has won the Super Bowl that was more known for running than passing. It's like I could wait all day. You know what I mean? And I mean, I think the closest you can come to would be Steve Young, who was a decent runner, but he wasn't known more for his running. You know what I mean? So, but
Didn't Lamar win a Super Bowl already? Or was that before? Or was that before? Was that before Lamar? Who was that was Flacco. Never mind.
Flacco. Yeah, let's see him running around all day.
No, I got to say the two most running quarterbacks that might have won it are, I believe, when Favre won it with Green Bay, and Mahomes.
But Mahomes isn't a running. He's not a run first quarterback, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just like Russell Wilson isn't a run first quarterback. Russell Wilson is running around for his life because their offensive lineman is me, you, and Eric blocking for them. That's why he's running around for his life.
Well, shit, if we were blocking from Russell Wilson, I want to know where my paychecks were.
Yeah, right.
It's in the mail.
Yeah. That's what I meant though. Guys that were known more for like run first. Someone like Mike Vick, like a Vick type. A guy that was or a Jalen Hurts, like one read gone. You know what I mean? Something like that. But Vick came around. And that was a guy. Speaking of that guy, he was a guy that had a very underrated arm. Very underrated. Yeah. He had an absolute cannon. And
listen, I could be 100% wrong. Anybody who thinks Michael Vick has an underrated arm needs to get stabbed in the face and rewatched film, because anyone who before he went to jail said he had an underrated arm doesn't know football, because unfortunately, like you said, he was a running first quarterback. It was, and then and it just caught up to them. Like if you go back to the 2004 NFC Championship game, Jimmy Johnson went in with a great defensive plan. It was Derek Burgess. You're going to chase him down, and that's it. Like this is who you're going. This is the guy that you're going to chase down. You don't go after the tight end. You don't go after the running back. Your job is Michael Vick, and that's what they did. And he took Michael Vick out of his game, and we won the NFC Championship game 27-10 because Michael Vick was running for his life because Derek Burgess was everywhere. But like you said, later on in his career, like when he came to the Eagles and when he went to the Steelers and the Jets,
Yeah.
like he we finally got to see the arm live because he was throwing, more passes. And then I think as he got older, when it came to running, he took what was given to him. Like he was a little bit older and he was still fast. If you go back and you look at the game where they were trailing to the Giants 31-7, it was, oh shit, the whole left side's open. I'm just going because we're down 24 points. Let's see what we can do. And he took games over with his arm and his legs later in his career. It just sucks that he went to jail.
I mean,
Not that it sucks. He went to jail for for the laws he committed, the laws he broke. But
this is why you pay your taxes.
Yes.
Yep.
But it was his arm was really featured when later in his career. He went to the Eagles, went to the Steelers, and all Jets quarterbacks go to die at the end of their career. Am I wrong?
It's funny that you said that. I just love it.
You said last night all running backs would go to the Jets to die at the end of their career.
Well, that's because I was talking about like a guy like LaDainian Tomlinson, who is.
I don't know, man. You want to talk about a place where quarterbacks go to die? How's about freaking Denver?
Who died at Denver? If you say Peyton Manning, he was 74 years old. His arm, I know I had a stronger arm in Peyton Manning's last career.
Yeah, I mean that last year you could tell that he was just like forcing it. He was forcing everything, but he was still so good.
I don't know. He threw a ball up that looked like I got shot.
Well, I'm saying Denver's quarterback lockers are starting to look like a nursing home.
Well, since Manning, it's been pretty bad.
Manning.
Oh God, Foles wasn't in Denver.
Or was it
Drew Lock, Teddy.
Oh no, you had some bad quarterback. Listen, I'm not going to sit there and like they
now
Denver's
Russell Wilson, who's at the tail end of his career.
He's 34 years old. I wouldn't say it's the tail. I get what you're saying. It's not the tail. I understand, but he was drafted the same year that Foles was drafted. But I don't know. I mean,
yeah, TB too.
Tebow. Tebow was at Denver.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but he started in Denver.
He was not good in Denver. That was such a wasted pick. But no, I get what you're saying. But I don't know. We had what else we have? Yeah, that's all I can think.
I think he's got some.
We've already gone over all the new additions to your squad and how they're going to fit in. Now, the thing that all this was leading up to, where do you guys finish your season next year?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because I'll go first. I've got you guys at a modest 9-8. However, given how weak the NFC is as a whole, I've actually got you coming in as a 6th seed in the playoffs.
All right, so I started out the show and I said I don't do predictions. I don't. It's not my thing. And I think you're out of your mind if you think the Eagles are going to be 9-8. They were 9-8 last year, and they got better. They absolutely got better. Dallas didn't get better. Washington got Carson Wentz, so that's there. And I think
Washington has your used toys.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Giants, I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of teams. They may be a team that's like 8-9, 9-8 because of their coaching staff. I could be wrong. Giants could also giant. But, it all comes down, like, it's the defense. We know what we have with our coach. We know how he runs an offense. And now he's got A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith in his second year. He's got Dallas Goedert in his 5th or 6th year. Miles Sanders is in the last year of a contract, so he's playing for a money contract. So there's a lot of variables. Their defense is set. 9-8, I think it's a little insulting, but it's your opinion. But, if I had a gun to my head, and it was like you have to make a pick. I would say 11-6. If I'm going out on a limb, 12-5, and I'm only saying that because of their defense. And last year, I said the same thing. I said, Chris Sims last year had the Eagles. I think 3 or 4 wins, Eric.
Yeah. So did I. So did
And I told Eric, and I told Chris Sims, although he never answered me on Twitter, that you're out of your mind. The Eagles are not a 4-win team. Their defense alone should win 6 to 7 games, and the NFC East stinks. I don't care that Mike McCarthy is the head coach of the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is not a good coach. He's proved it time and time again. You took the ball, you had a playoff game, and you saw what Kyle Shanahan did with his best player. You saw Deebo Samuel run up and down the field against the Cowboys. And he should have did that with what's his name? CeeDee Lamb. He had 1 catch in that game. You can't have 1 catch in a playoff game, and he's one of your best players. And Zeke only had 14 touches. But like I said, 12 wins, 11 wins. I can't. If you look at the Eagles' schedule, and I actually have a bet with our one friend that he has them at 6-0 after 6 weeks. I said if the Eagles are 6-0 after 6 weeks, I will do a live show dressed in a tutu.
All right, well, let's go through the schedule. Week 1, Detroit.
They stink.
Anybody think the Eagles are going to lose that game?
No, but they stink.
Not
It
at
sure
all.
stinks.
Okay, week 2, Minnesota.
They stink. They have Kirk
no.
Cousins. They have Kirk Cousins. No, they have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. No.
All right, week 3, Washington. At Washington.
They'll beat them.
So you
Because
guys,
there's going to be 9,000 to 10,000 Eagles fans there, and they're going to get in Carson Wentz's head. We went to the last game that the Washington football team was the Washington Redskins game, and we took over the stadium. It was ridiculous how loud it was. Am I wrong, Eric?
No, it was great. No, it was.
It was
awesome.
ridiculous.
all right, week 4, Jacksonville.
They stink. So win.
So at this point, you got them both at 4-0.
And again, I don't like doing predictions, but realistically, they should be 4-0. Go ahead.
Arizona, week 5, at Arizona.
I think they lose that one.
I don't know,
I
but but hold on, that franchise is such a disarray with Kyler Murray.
Okay, well, for the way this is going, you're going to be doing the show in a 2-2.
All right, 5-0. I'll do it in a 2-2. I don't care.
Well,
All
I'm saying a loss in that one.
right, so either way, all right, so they're 4-1. You 4-1. I got them 5-0. Go ahead.
All right, week 6, Dallas. At home. For you guys.
I say win just because it's at home. Now, if we were playing at Dallas, it's probably a loss.
I was going to just say win because it's at home.
All right. Week 7, obviously that's a bye week. Week 8, Pittsburgh.
That's
It could be a loss,
yeah. I was going to say that's going to be a loss.
but it also depends where Pittsburgh is and who's the quarterback. Because you're saying that Kenny Pickett's going to be the starting quarterback because of Matt Canada's relationship. Well, if Kenny Pickett's the quarterback, then there's no reason the Eagles defense shouldn't feed on Kenny Pickett. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
So
Week 9, at Houston.
That yeah, I'm going with win on that one.
I'm not even answering that. And my answer is
Okay, week 10, Washington.
I'm going to say we're going to beat Washington. I just because Carson Wentz, if he's still healthy, is coming into Lincoln Financial Field. Oh Jesus Christ! You think his mental health was a problem before?
So okay. 11 at Indy.
I'm going to say a loss.
Who the hell is the quarterback?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. I don't know, dude. Matt Ryan can't beat the Eagles.
I have a feeling. A new situation, new scheme, new
Oh
uniform.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost. I'll put them down as no.
So that's a loss for both of you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Week 12, Green Bay.
Loss.
They're losing.
That was quick for both of you. Week 13, Titans.
Loss.
I
They're
don't
going
know,
against
dude, that's-
they're going against Derrick Henry. Loss.
But it's also AJ Brown's first game against them, so that you know what that's you see where the Eagles are and you flip a coin at that point. I get what you're saying about Derrick Henry. He's a man amongst boys, but they still have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm just putting it on record that I have him 3 straight L's right there.
All right. So Eric's got loss. What are you going, Chris?
I'll go win. I'll go W. I'm not giving them 3 straight L's. I can't do that.
All right. Week 14, at Giants.
That's a win.
And
I
you didn't even think about it. I'm like,
No. Number 1, they still got Daniel Jones. Number 2, Saquon Barkley's probably going to be on the IR. So
well played.
it's week 14.
Now here's the thing. This is Jeffrey. This is where I sit there and say, you look at these. Who was the game before the Giants?
The Titans.
Are we home or away?
Home for the Titans, away for the Giants.
So we're home for the Titans. Now that's what, week 13?
Yes.
Yes.
If I'm correct, and I haven't even looked at the schedule, I don't think the Eagles get on a plane the rest of the year.
Wrong. The next 3 weeks are all the way.
No. Get on a plane. Where do they go?
Yeah.
From home from Philly week 13 to New York week 14, Chicago week 15,
Okay.
and Dallas week 16.
All right, never mind.
Okay.
Disregard that. All right, so I think they'll beat Chicago. I don't think Justin Fields is that good of a quarterback.
Yeah, I think that too. And 16 obviously is Dallas.
So you're giving wins to both Giants and Chicago?
Yeah,
Yes.
and we'll probably lose to Dallas in Dallas.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll lose to Dallas.
Do you know what would be awesome? Do you know what would be awesome when we play Indianapolis?
All right, so you're both giving Dallas losing to Dallas.
Yes.
All right, week 17, NOLA.
I think that's a loss.
Where are we at? We home or away?
At
That-
home.
I don't know. Jameis Winston doesn't scare me.
That's not him I'm worried about. You got Michael Thomas coming back. Alvin Kamara is going to be back by that point if he's not suspended for whatever reason. He's going to be fresh.
I don't know. I'll say win.
Okay, I got lost.
All right, and week 18 at home against the Giants.
What am I grabbing?
I got to say win again for that.
Yeah.
I can't.
All right, so your scores are actually Chris, you're giving them 13 and 4,
Okay.
and Eric, you're giving them 10 and 7.
Yep.
So you and I at least, Eric, are pretty close because I'm going 9 and 8. If you want my rundown, the teams I have them getting their 9 wins against, I got Detroit week 1, Minnesota week 2, Jacksonville week 4, Pittsburgh week 8, Houston week 9, Washington 10, Indy week 11. I've got them actually winning against Tennessee week 13, and then closing with a win against the Giants.
Okay.
So you have them getting swept by Washington and Dallas?
No, I've got them winning against Washington week 10. I have them, let's see, I have them getting swept by Dallas, yes. I've got them
Ooh.
splitting the series with Washington, and I've got them splitting the series with the Giants.
See, and I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I really wouldn't. I would not be surprised by Dallas, like just by them sweeping them, winning the season series. I wouldn't be surprised.
So we're gonna go back to back seasons, getting swept by the Dallas Cowboys.
It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's possible. I could absolutely see it.
That's where I'll disagree, just because I think the Eagles are better coached, and I think they got better. I think whatchamacallit's dead. Zeke's just not there anymore.
Yes, but Tony Pollard has been being slept on because of being
Mhm.
behind Zeke, but honestly, when it comes to being a dual threat running back, Pollard's probably better than Zeke.
Mm-hmm. As I was going to say, he's still kind of flying under the radar. I think Pollard's going to play a big role for them this year. And to tell
Not
you, the go ahead.
not to mention with Amari Cooper stepping out to Cleveland, CeeDee Lamb is especially now that he's going into his third season and has the couple years under his belt of experience. I see this being the year that he really takes off.
Well, and I also like Michael Gallup as the number 2. Like, he's finally stepping up into the number 2 position because, I mean, that helped the wide receiver. Well, let's put it this way: it helped him with the departure of Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb was already pretty damn good, but I was like Michael Gallup too. So I think even though they may have, their wide receiver core may have gotten better by subtraction.
CeeDee Lamb is a slot receiver. He had the luxury of Michael Gallup. He had the luxury of Amari Cooper. I'm not saying CeeDee Lamb isn't gonna. I don't think that CeeDee Lamb is this great player. I mean, he had a lot of drops last year. Let's he's got a little problem.
I'm going to say I've been sleeping here on the comments. Let me just throw a few of them up real quick, but continue.
Matty going to ice us.
So let's go back to the Indianapolis game. Imagine if Matt Ryan's hurt.
Well, I mean, that's a different story.
Hold on. No. It's not even that. Nick Foles is the backup.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Imagine for 1 second, Nick Foles tortures us because Matt Ryan's hurt. All sports talk is going to be phenomenal that week.
Oh my God.
We're not going to do a show that week. We're going to take a bye.
So
We're on a bye.
you might have 3 games this year against your former quarterbacks.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. That's sad.
You have no idea how much I'm rooting for that. So, but I get it. Listen, the Eagles aren't going 13-4. You know, I said 12-5 at best. But their schedule, like looking at it, like I think they're I think they're gonna. You're right. They probably lose to the Cardinals, but they could They could be 5-1 going into the bye week, which is crazy. Even 4-2.
I've got. I mean, my take was 3-3 going to the bye.
I've got them 4-1 going into the bye.
You don't know 5-1.
5-1. I'm sorry. But then after
listen, if they're 5-1, this town's going to be buzzing. And the way Philadelphia fans are, you know, they're a rocker sponge. You know, and if Kyle Pickett is the quarterback, they're beating the Steelers, so they're 6-1. The Texans, they're beating the Texans 7-1.
Unless Davis Mills has a game of his life.
Right. Commanders 8-1. Colts 8. The thing is, like, we're doing these predictions and we don't know because of injuries, but there's going to be games in there that they're shouldn't lose, that they're going to lose. Like, look, they're going to lose to the Texans, and then they'll beat the Packers 3 weeks later.
I mean,
That's the shit that the Eagles. That's what the Eagles have done in their career.
I mean, that's kind of where I was going with when I actually put you guys winning over Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at these. I can't see us losing to the Saints. I can't see us splitting with the Giants, and I can't see us getting swept by the Cowboys. I can't. I see us more splitting with Washington than I do with the Giants. I think the Giants are a very underrated team right now. That's just me.
Well, I'm sure we will have to revisit this these predictions once the season's fully underway.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
But I mean, I do still like. I am giving you guys credit. I do have you going 9-8, and I do have you guys making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I can't go against them for like to not make the playoffs after the season they had last year. I just can't. And again, a lot of this is going to have to it falls on the development of Jalen Hurts. I mean, there's a lot going on this year with the Eagles. There's a lot of new additions. There's a lot of on both sides of the ball. And like I said, it's going to be a fun season. That's for damn sure. I can't wait for it to start, and I just hope that it's an exciting season.
It's going to be something.
If it's if it's south of exciting, I'm going to be pissed the hell off.
Yeah, we won't be. It'll suck.
Yes, it will.
But anyways, guys, it's been great having you guys on here. I've definitely enjoyed this discussion.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
I mean, I don't think I've laughed this much during an episode yet. So thank you guys for.
I tend to make. I'll crack a joke here and there, like when we did a hockey show years ago when Carter Hart came up, and comments I made were like, "Don't buy that kid a Ferrari or a Lamborghini like Bernie Perrant. Get him an Uber. Like I can't deal with another goalie crashing."
Pelly Lindbergh, you screwed that joke up already.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
I will say Carter Hart came in clutch for me a good bit last year with my fantasy hockey league. Not gonna lie.
I like the kid. I really like the kid. But yeah, man, this is kind of like what we do. It's like we get on our show and it's jokes, a few beers. Like we treat the show as like we're two guys just sitting at the bar talking sports, and so far it's been working good. Like the people in Six Pack Coverage love us. We get a lot of views on their YouTube channel. So it's fun stuff, man. But again, thanks for having us on.
Of course, you got like the way you said that about a couple guys just sitting around a bar having a few drinks talking sports. That's exactly the vibe I go for in Moon Cutters. So you guys were the perfect guests. Thank you. You want to give my fans a shout out of where they can find you?
Yeah. Well, Chris is muted.
Mike.
He's muted.
Where did you get Moon Cutters from?
So I used to be involved in professional wrestling. While I was there, my ring name was Ryan Moon. Okay. And the finishing move I used was basically the same thing as Charlotte Flair's natural selection, which is a which is basically a float over cutter, and I called it the Moon Cutter. So It's a throwback to that.
Nice.
But it also works because I am Moon because of my wrestling name, and I cut through the bullshit when I'm talking sports.
I like it. That's a good tagline. I love it. That's good stuff.
It's different. I never heard of Moon Cutters.
Yeah. So for like you said, let your people know where to find us. Our Twitter is, of course, that's where I have it up there at CEV Sports. That's the Philly Podcast main Twitter page. They can find us on Six Pack Coverage Network. Just look them up on YouTube and search. Go into Six Pack Coverage YouTube channel and search Philly Podcast. You'll get a whole slew of videos to watch. You got Chris. What's our TikTok?
At the Philly Podcast.
Yeah, at the Philly Podcast. This one he's handling the TikTok and everything, so it's he's always putting something funny up there. But yeah, and
that's where my live reaction to the age.
And we do have a website. It's cevsports.com. We're trying to get that more traffic on that. Yeah, man, that's us in a nutshell, man.
Definitely for Moon Cutters fans watching at home, if you enjoyed the comedy, you enjoyed the discussion, and you enjoyed the knowledge that came to the table tonight, check these guys out.
Yeah. You can also find us. I forgot. You can also find us on Facebook too. So it's like we're on there as well.
All right. I've been Joffrey. You can follow me, as you can see on screen, at TJE Joker. You can also follow Moon Cutters Sportscast at Moon Cutters. We are on YouTube as well as part of the Running Force Productions, our proud network. And yeah, it feels weird not having Adam here. I wish he could have joined us, but I guess he got stuck late at work.
Alright.
So
Usually,
usually I have a long spiel at the end because he's got like 3 or 4 different Twitter handles that I got to go over.
so I will say this. Yeah, thanks for having us on. Do the Eagles play the Jets this year? No, they don't. They play them they do. They play them in preseason.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
preseason only.
Maybe we'll do a show. We'll do a preseason show.
I'd be down. Do what?
Yeah, we'll do like we can do a live show because I think the games are on Thursdays, and that's generally when we try to go on.
All right, let me know. I'd love to jump in with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It was fun. We'll talk to you when you end this, but I just got a couple questions to ask you.
Yeah. Well, at this point, guys, Joffrey being joined tonight by Eric and Chris from the Philly podcast. Again, they were brought to you tonight by Six Pack Coverage. Have a great night and see you next time on Mooncutter Sportscast.